The smell of espresso and fresh basil had seeped so deeply into my skin that I sometimes wondered if I'd ever wash it away completely. 5 months. That's how long I'd been working at Delmonico, tucking myself into the shadows of Manhattan's elite dining scene, trying to become invisible among the marble columns and crystal chandeliers. The irony wasn't lost on me that I'd chosen to hide in plain sight, serving those who moved through the world with the kind of confidence that comes from never having to look over their shoulder. My feet ached in the black flats I'd bought secondhand, the arch support long since compressed into nothing. Each step sent a dull throb up my calves as I navigated between tables, my arms laden with plates of handmade pasta and glasses of wine that cost more than my weekly rent. The restaurant hummed with the particular energy of a Friday night. Wealthy patrons celebrating deals closed and weekends beginning, their laughter a soundtrack to my exhaustion. I paused near the kitchen entrance, pressing my palm briefly against the cool wall. The nausea had been worse lately, though I'd gotten better at hiding it. Just tired, I told myself when Sophia, the senior waitress, caught me steadying myself. Just a long shift. She'd nodded sympathetically, her knowing eyes suggesting she understood more than I was willing to admit. Through the archway leading to the main dining room, I could see Giuseppe, our maitre d', straightening his already perfect bow tie. His movements had that particular sharpness that meant someone important had arrived, someone who required the full performance. Delmonico didn't just serve food, it staged an experience, and every member of the staff was an actor in the production. Elena. His voice was low, urgent, as he appeared beside me. Table 9, the Moretti party. Something in his tone made my stomach clench, though I couldn't identify why. Moretti was a common Italian name. There was no reason it should trigger the crawling sensation spreading across my skin. They've requested you specifically. My breath caught. Specifically. Mr. Moretti saw you when he arrived, asked if you would be serving tonight. Giuseppe's expression was unreadable, but there was something in his eyes. A warning, perhaps, or curiosity. He's a very important client, Elena. Very important. I nodded, not trusting my voice. My hands were already trembling as I smoothed down my black apron, checking my reflection in the polished surface of a serving tray. Dark circles under my eyes that makeup couldn't quite hide. Hair pulled back in the severe bun required by dress code. I looked tired, worn. Nothing like the girl I'd been 3 years ago. The private dining section of Delmonico occupied a raised platform overlooking the main floor, separated by frosted glass panels that provided the illusion of privacy, while still allowing diners to observe the restaurant below. As I climbed the 3 steps, my heartbeat had accelerated to an uncomfortable pace, a warning bell my conscious mind refused to acknowledge. Table 9 sat in the corner, the positioning deliberate. From here, someone could watch every entrance, every exit, every movement in the restaurant. It was a position of power, of control, and as I approached with menus tucked under my arm, I understood with sudden clarity that whoever had requested this table understood security, understood threat assessment, understood how to corner prey. 4 men sat around the circular table, their conversation pausing as I approached. 3 of them barely registered in my peripheral vision, dark suits and harder expressions, the kind of men who made their living being forgettable. But the 4th, my vision tunneled. The menus slipped from suddenly nerveless fingers, landing on the pristine white tablecloth with a soft thud that sounded like thunder in my ears. He hadn't changed. Not really. Perhaps his hair was cut shorter, the expensive fabric of his suit even more perfectly tailored than I remembered. But those eyes, dark and calculating, held the same intensity that had both drawn me in and ultimately driven me away. The same eyes that had looked at me with something between possession and worship, right before I'd understood the true cost of being loved by a man like Dante Moretti. "Good evening, gentlemen." My voice emerged steadier than I had any right to expect. years of waitressing muscle memory carrying me through shock. "Welcome to Delmonico. My name is Elena, and I'll be serving you tonight." I didn't look at him directly. Couldn't. Instead, I focused on the space just over his shoulder, on the abstract painting hanging on the far wall. But I could feel his gaze on me, physical as a touch, cataloging every detail, noting the changes, the weight I'd lost, the shadows under my eyes, the way my hands trembled infinitesimally as I distributed menus. "Elena." His voice was exactly as I remembered it, low and controlled, the faint Italian accent wrapping around vowels in a way that used to make my stomach flutter. Now it made my throat close. What an unexpected pleasure. One of the other men glanced between us, sensing undercurrents. Dante raised a hand slightly, a gesture so minimal it was nearly imperceptible. But the man immediately looked away, suddenly fascinated by his menu. The casual display of authority made my chest tight. "Can I start you with cocktails? We have an excellent selection of the 97 Barolo." He cut through my recitation smoothly. "And bring 4 glasses. We're celebrating tonight." I scribbled the note on my pad, grateful for something to do with my hands. The 97 Barolo. Of course he would order that. It was the same wine we'd shared that first night, when he'd taken me to a restaurant much like this one, and taught me how to appreciate the complexity of well-aged wine. When I'd still been naive enough to think the darkness I sensed in him was romantic, rather than literal. "Of course, sir. I'll bring that right away." I turned to leave, but his voice stopped me. Not his words, just the way he said my name. "Elena." Like a command, like a question, like a threat. I looked back, finally meeting his eyes fully. The impact was immediate and devastating. Recognition crashed through me, bringing with it 1,000 memories I'd worked so hard to bury, his hands on my skin, his mouth at my throat, the sound of his laugh in the darkness of his bedroom, the coldness in his voice when he'd told me exactly what he did for a living, exactly what my association with him meant. "You look well," he said quietly, and there was something in his expression I couldn't read. "New York suits you." It wasn't a question. He knew. Of course he knew. Had probably known the moment I'd stepped off the bus from Chicago 3 years ago. Had probably been watching me this entire time, allowing me the illusion of freedom while keeping tabs on his wayward. What? Girlfriend? Property? I'd never been entirely sure what I'd been to him. "Thank you, sir." The formality was a shield, thin and insufficient, but all I had. "I'll get that wine for you immediately." This time when I turned away, he let me go. But as I descended the steps toward the wine cellar, my legs barely holding me upright, I knew with absolute certainty that this encounter was not chance. Dante Moretti did nothing by accident. He'd found me, whether through deliberate searching or some twist of fate. And now everything I'd built in my carefully reconstructed life was about to come crashing down. In the temperature-controlled shadows of the wine cellar, surrounded by bottles worth more than my entire year's salary, I pressed my hands against my abdomen. The slight swell there was still invisible beneath my loose uniform blouse, a secret I'd managed to keep for 4 months. But secrets had a way of coming to light around Dante Moretti. And this one, his child, growing inside me, the result of that last desperate night before I'd fled Chicago, would change everything. I selected the bottle with shaking hands, noting absently that it cost $700. Then I straightened my spine, smoothed my apron, and prepared to return to the man I'd once loved and feared in equal measure. The man who'd just looked at me like he'd never stopped owning me. The bottle felt impossibly heavy in my hands as I climbed back toward table 9, each step a negotiation between my legs and my will. Through the frosted glass panels, I could see Dante's silhouette, perfectly still, while his companions gestured in animated conversation. He'd positioned himself with his back to the corner, a habit I remembered from before. Always able to see threats coming, never vulnerable. I approached with the wine, my professional smile fixed in place like armor. The 1997 Barolo, as requested. Dante's hand lifted slightly, stopping me before I could begin the opening ritual. I'll handle it. His fingers brushed mine as he took the bottle, the contact deliberate and electric. 3 years hadn't diminished the effect he had on me, and judging by the slight curve of his mouth, he knew it. I stepped back, clasping my hands behind my back to hide their trembling. Standard protocol dictated I should leave now, check on other tables, but something in the air kept me rooted. Dante poured with practiced precision, the wine cascading into crystal glasses with the deep ruby color of old blood. Gentlemen. He raised his glass, eyes never leaving mine. To unexpected reunions, and to things we thought were lost coming back to us. The words landed like stones in still water, ripples spreading outward. His companions drank. I didn't move. Will there be anything else, sir? My voice sounded distant, as if coming from underwater. Actually, yes. He set down his glass with deliberate care. Tell Giuseppe I'd like you assigned exclusively to our table tonight. My associates and I have important business to discuss, and I prefer consistency in service. The request was perfectly reasonable. Wealthy clients often wanted dedicated attention. But the way he said it, the slight emphasis on certain words, transformed courtesy into cage bars clicking shut. Of course, I'll inform him immediately. As I descended to find Giuseppe, my mind raced through possibilities. I could claim sudden illness, could simply walk out the back entrance and never return. But where would I go? The small room I rented in Queens, where the landlord already eyed me suspiciously when I was 3 days late with rent. The city that had seemed vast enough to disappear into now felt suffocatingly small. Giuseppe listened to Dante's request with an expression of mingled respect and concern. He specifically requested you? Yes. Do you know him? The question was loaded. Giuseppe had worked in establishments like this for 30 years. He understood the undercurrents, the unspoken hierarchies, the danger that sometimes wore expensive suits. We've met before. The admission cost me, but lying would be worse. In Chicago, before I moved here. His eyes sharpened with understanding. And you left Chicago because staying would have been complicated. Giuseppe studied me for a long moment, then sighed. If you need to leave tonight, I'll cover for you. Say you were sick. But Elena... He gripped my shoulder, his expression grave. Men like that, they don't forget. They don't forgive. If he found you once, he'll find you again. The truth of it settled in my stomach like ice. I know. Then perhaps it's better to face it now, on your terms. Except nothing about this was on my terms. I returned to table 9 with a forced composure, taking their dinner orders while Dante watched me with that unreadable expression. His companions had fallen into easy conversation, discussing real estate acquisitions and market fluctuations in the language of legitimate business. But I'd learned to hear the subtext, the coded references to territories and percentages that had nothing to do with stock portfolios. Throughout the dinner service, I was hyper-aware of his presence. The way he moved his knife through his bistecca with surgical precision. The gold Rolex catching lamplight as he reached for his wine. The dark ink I could glimpse at his collar when he leaned forward. Elegant lines of a tattoo I knew continued across his shoulder and down his ribs. I'd traced those lines once, in the darkness of his bedroom, while he murmured in Italian against my hair. Between courses, I served other tables with mechanical efficiency, but I could feel his eyes following me across the dining room. Once, when I was pouring water for an elderly couple near the window, I glanced up to find him watching me with an intensity that made the glass slip in my grip. Only my quick reflexes prevented a spill. The elderly woman touched my hand. "Are you all right, dear? You look pale." "Just tired. Long shift." The lie came easily now, worn smooth by repetition. By the time I brought the dessert course to table 9, the restaurant had begun its slow wind-down. Remaining diners lingered over coffee, the energy shifting from bustle to intimacy. Dante's companions had grown quieter, their earlier animation replaced by watchful stillness. "Gentlemen, if you'll excuse us." Dante's words weren't a request. His associates rose immediately, nodding to him with obvious deference before disappearing toward the bar. Suddenly, I was alone with him. "Sit." He gestured to the chair opposite him. "I can't. I'm working." "Elena." My name was a command. "Sit." My legs folded before my brain could protest. I perched on the edge of the chair, spine rigid, hands folded in my lap. Dante leaned back, studying me with the same careful attention he'd once used to memorize every detail of my body. 3 years, he said quietly. Not a word, not a message. You vanished. I left a note. "I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry." 6 words. That's what you thought 3 years deserved? The anger in his voice was tightly controlled, but I knew him well enough to hear it. Knew that the calmer he sounded, the more dangerous he became. What was I supposed to say, Dante? Thank you for an interesting year, but I'd rather not spend my life wondering when the FBI or a rival family would put a bullet in my head. You knew what I was from the beginning. I knew you were in business. I didn't know. I lowered my voice as a waiter passed nearby. I didn't know the specifics. Not until Marcos. Something flickered in his expression. Marcos made his own choices. He threatened me, said things about what happens to women who get too close to you. And then 2 days later, he was dead. They found him in the Chicago River with... I stopped, the memory too vivid even now. With 2 bullets in the back of his head. I remember. Dante's voice was flat. He touched what was mine. He threatened you. There were consequences. I wasn't yours. His hand moved so quickly I flinched, but he simply pushed the dessert menu aside, eliminating barriers between us. You are. Running to New York didn't change that. I'm not the same person I was in Chicago. No. His eyes traced over my face, noting details I couldn't hide. You're thinner, tired, working yourself to exhaustion in this place when you should be. He stopped abruptly, his jaw tightening. Why Delmonico? Why this restaurant specifically? The question confused me. I needed a job. They were hiring. This restaurant is owned by the Costa family. The name meant nothing to me, but the way he said it resonated with significance I couldn't interpret. I don't understand. Vittorio Costa. Dante's voice had gone very quiet. My principal competitor in this city. This restaurant is how he launders money from his Brooklyn operations. Every server, every busboy, every person working here is either on his payroll or under his protection. He leaned forward, his intensity pinning me in place. Did you really not know? Or was this your way of ensuring I couldn't reach you? Horror crawled up my spine. I didn't know. I swear, Dante, I had no idea. He studied me for a long moment, then nodded slowly. I believe you, which means you've been working in enemy territory for 5 months without protection, without anyone knowing who you were to me. I'm not anything to you anymore. That's where you're wrong, Bella. The endearment was razor-edged. The moment you walked into my life, you became something to me, and I take care of what's mine. I left. I made that choice. And now you're back. His hand moved across the table, stopping just short of touching mine. Whether by fate or cosmic joke, you're here, working in a place where, if Costa knew your connection to me, he could use you to destroy everything I've built. The implications settled over me like a suffocating blanket. He doesn't know. No one knows. I used my mother's maiden name on the application, Ruiz instead of Morrison. I've been careful. Not careful enough. Dante pulled out his phone, typed something quickly. 3 months ago, Costa's son was at the bar. You served him. I tried to remember. I serve dozens of people every shift. He has a scar here. Dante traced a line along his jaw. From a fight in prison. You would have noticed. The memory surfaced. A younger man, maybe 30, with expensive clothes and cold eyes. He'd made a comment about my legs. I'd smiled politely and kept my distance. I remember him. He came back twice after that. Sat at the bar both times you were working. The ice in my stomach spread outward. How do you know this? Because I've had someone watching you since the day you arrived in New York. The admission was casual, devastating. Did you really think I wouldn't find you? That I'd simply let you disappear? I should have been angry, should have stood up and walked away. Instead, I felt a twisted sort of relief. At least the paranoia I'd felt for months had been justified. What do you want, Dante? The same thing I've always wanted. His eyes held mine. You. Safe. Where I can protect you. That's not protection. That's possession. In my world, Bella, they're the same thing. He stood, pulling out his wallet and placing several $100 bills on the table. Your shift ends at 11. Midnight. I'll have Marco waiting out back. He'll drive you home. I can take the subway. No. The word was absolute. Not anymore. Not now that I've found you again. He moved around the table with predatory grace, stopping close enough that I had to tilt my head back to maintain eye contact. 3 years ago, you left because you were afraid. Fair enough. But now you're working in enemy territory, surrounded by people who would kill you without hesitation if they knew your connection to me. You have 2 choices, Elena. Accept my protection, and let me move you somewhere safe. Or continue as you are, and wait for Costa to figure out who you really are. Those aren't choices. That's coercion. No, Bella. He leaned down, his mouth close to my ear. Coercion would be telling Giuseppe you're quitting tonight, having my men pack up your apartment while you're here, putting you on a plane to somewhere Costa can never reach you. He straightened, his expression almost gentle. I'm giving you until tomorrow to decide. That's more consideration than I've given anyone in years. He walked away, his companions materializing from the shadows to flank him. At the archway, he paused and looked back. One more thing. The nausea you've been experiencing, morning sickness usually peaks around the 4th month. You should see a doctor. Prenatal care is important. The words punched through me with the force of a physical blow. He knew. Of course he knew. His watching me hadn't just been surveillance. It had been thorough investigation. He knew about the pregnancy, which meant he knew exactly how trapped I truly was. As he disappeared into the Manhattan night, Giuseppe appeared at my elbow. Elena, what was that about? I stared at the space where Dante had been, one hand unconsciously moving to my stomach. That was my past, I whispered, coming back to collect what it thinks it owns. And the terrifying part wasn't that he'd found me. It was that some traitorous part of me was relieved he had. The apartment felt even smaller when I returned that night, the walls closing in with the weight of everything Dante had said. Marco had been waiting by the service entrance as promised, a silent presence in an expensive car that probably cost more than I'd earn in 5 years. He hadn't spoken during the drive, but his eyes had constantly scanned the mirrors, the streets, watching for threats I couldn't see. I'd thanked him awkwardly when we arrived. He'd simply nodded and said, "I'll be here, every night. Mr. Moretti's orders." Now, alone in the darkness, I sat on my secondhand couch and tried to think, tried to plan. But exhaustion pulled at me like an undertow, and beneath it all, the pregnancy made itself known with waves of nausea that had nothing to do with fear. My phone buzzed. An unknown number, but I knew who it would be. "Did you arrive safely?" I stared at the message for a long moment before responding. "Yes. Good. Sleep. We'll talk tomorrow." As if sleep were possible. As if I could simply close my eyes and forget that Dante Moretti had found me, had been watching me for months, knew about the child I carried. His child, though I hadn't told him explicitly. But he was too intelligent not to have done the math. The question that kept me awake wasn't whether he knew. It was what he intended to do about it. Morning came too soon. Gray light filtering through thin curtains that did nothing to keep out the city's noise. I showered mechanically, dressed in clothes that now felt too loose, and was preparing to leave for my shift when someone knocked. Not Marco. The knock was too authoritative, too confident. I knew who it would be even before I opened the door. Dante stood in my hallway wearing a different suit, this one charcoal gray with a subtle pattern, perfectly tailored to his frame. Behind him, Marco maintained a respectful distance, but his presence blocked any escape route. "May I come in?" It wasn't really a question. I stepped aside, acutely aware of how shabby my apartment must look through his eyes. The peeling paint, the furniture rescued from curbs, the single window overlooking an alley where trash accumulated in corners. He didn't comment on any of it, simply moved to the center of the small space and turned to face me. "We need to talk, really talk. No interruptions, no work obligations. I have a shift. I called Giuseppe this morning. You have the day off. Paid." Of course he had. "You can't just rearrange my life, Dante." "I can. I am." He gestured to the couch. "Sit, please." I remained standing. "Say what you came to say." He studied me for a moment, then nodded. "Fair enough. I'll be direct. You're carrying my child. You're working in a place controlled by my enemies. And based on this apartment, you're barely making ends meet." He paused. "Am I wrong about any of that?" I wanted to lie, but what was the point? "No." "Then here's what I'm offering. I have an apartment in Tribeca. 3 bedrooms, secure building, 24-hour doorman who works for me. You move in today. I set up accounts in your name, enough money that you never have to worry about rent or food or medical bills. You stop working at Delmonico immediately." "In exchange for what?" His expression shifted, something almost like hurt flickering across his features. "In exchange for letting me protect you, for letting me be part of my child's life, for giving us a chance to figure out what this could be." What this could be. Dante, I left because of what this was. You killed a man. Probably more than one. You're a... I stopped, not wanting to say the words in my own apartment, as if speaking them aloud would make everything more real. "A criminal." He said it without inflection. "A mobster. A killer. Yes, Elena, I know what I am. I've never pretended otherwise. You told me you were an import-export. I am. Just not the kind that goes through customs." He moved closer, and I hated how my body responded, the old attraction flaring despite everything. "I didn't lie to you about who I was. I just didn't give you the full truth until you were already..." He stopped. "Until I was already in love with you?" The words came out bitter. "That's predatory, Dante. You know it is." "Perhaps." He didn't deny it. "But my feelings for you were real. Are real. That last night before you left. The memory crashed over me. The desperate intensity of it. As if we'd both known something was ending. His hands in my hair, his mouth at my throat. the way he'd whispered my name like a prayer. I'd left the next morning while he was still sleeping, unable to face a goodbye that would break me. That night was a mistake. That night created a life. His hand lifted, hovering near my stomach but not touching. Our child, Elena. That's not a mistake. That's a gift I never thought I'd receive. Something in his voice made me look up. There was vulnerability there, carefully hidden but present. You wanted children? Not until I met you. The admission seemed to cost him. My life, my business. It's no place for a family. I'd accepted that. And then you walked into that gallery opening in Chicago, looking at the paintings like they held secrets. And I thought, maybe with the right woman, things could be different. And then I saw what your life really meant, what loving you would cost. Yes. He didn't look away. And you ran. I don't blame you for that, Bella. I was angry, but I understood. My world is violent, dangerous, not what you signed up for. So why come back now? Why not let me go? Because letting you go the first time nearly destroyed me. The rawness in his voice stopped my breath. Because I spent 3 years trying to forget you and failing. Because the moment I learned you were in New York, in my city, I couldn't stay away. His eyes met mine, and I saw the truth there, stark and undeniable. And because now there's a child, my child, and I will do whatever it takes to keep both of you safe. I sank onto the couch, legs suddenly weak. This is insane. Probably. He sat beside me, maintaining careful distance. But insanity runs in my family. Despite everything, I almost smiled. That's not reassuring. I'm not trying to reassure you. I'm trying to be honest. He shifted to face me fully. I can't promise you a normal life. I can't promise there won't be danger. What I can promise is this. No one will touch you while I'm alive. No one will harm our child. You'll have everything you need and most of what you want. And I will never, ever lie to you about who I am or what I do. What about love? The question escaped before I could stop it. His expression softened. I loved you 3 years ago, Elena. I love you now. That hasn't changed. He reached out slowly, giving me time to pull away, and took my hand. The question is whether you can love me knowing what I am, whether you can accept the darkness that comes with being mine. Being yours. There's that phrase again. It's the only one I know. His thumb traced circles on my palm, the gesture achingly familiar. In my world, people belong to each other. It's not romantic, but it's true. If you accept my protection, you become mine in a way that's recognized and respected. No one touches what belongs to Dante Moretti. And what do I get in return? Besides the apartment and the money? Me. The simplicity of it was devastating. All of me. My loyalty, my protection, my name if you want it. Access to my world, as much or as little as you can handle. And the certainty that I will move heaven and earth to make you happy. I wanted to say no. Wanted to find the strength I'd had 3 years ago when I'd walked away from him. But that was before the pregnancy, before the exhaustion, before the terror of trying to survive alone in a city that didn't care whether I sank or swam. And if I was honest with myself, before I'd admitted how much I missed him. Missed the way he looked at me, the way his presence made me feel safe, even when logic said I should be afraid. I need time. You have until tonight. His tone was apologetic but firm. Not because I'm being cruel, but because Costa is having people watch Delmonico. One of his men noticed us talking last night. By tomorrow, he'll know who you are. We need to move you before that happens. Terror spiked through me. What would he do if he found out? Dante's expression went cold. Nothing good. Costa and I have been at war for years, a careful dance of territory and power. You would become a weapon he'd use against me. At best, leverage for negotiation. At worst. He didn't finish. At worst, he'd send you back to me in pieces, to prove a point. The casual horror of it made me dizzy. This is the world you're offering me? Where people get cut into pieces for knowing the wrong person? No, Bella. This is the world you're already in, whether you want it or not. I'm offering you a way to survive it. He stood, moving toward the door. Marco will stay nearby. If you decide to come with me, call this number. He pressed a card into my hand. If you decide to run again, he won't stop you. But Elena? He paused at the threshold, his eyes holding mine. There's nowhere in this world you can go that I won't eventually find you. And next time, I might not be the first one to arrive. After he left, I sat in the suffocating silence of my apartment, staring at the card. A single phone number, no name, no explanation. I thought about calling Jenna, finally getting that conversation I'd been avoiding about the pregnancy. But what would I tell her? That the father had found me? That he was offering protection wrapped in threat? That part of me wanted to say yes. My hand moved to my stomach, to the small life growing there, a life that deserved better than this shabby apartment and my constant fear. A life that deserved a father, even one who came with darkness attached. I pulled out my phone and dialed before I could overthink it. He answered on the first ring. Elena, I have conditions. Name them. I want my own room, my own space. This isn't about getting back together. It's about safety. Done. I want to finish my shift tonight. Give proper notice to Giuseppe. I won't just disappear on him. A pause. I'll come with you. Make sure nothing happens. And I want the truth. About everything. What you really do. What the risks are. What being connected to you means. You'll have it. Tonight. After your shift, we'll talk and I'll answer every question you have. His voice softened. Anything else? If I do this, if I accept your protection, you can't use the baby as leverage. Can't use my fear for them to control me. Never. The word was absolute. You have my word, Elena. On my father's grave, on everything I hold sacred, I will never use our child against you. I closed my eyes, feeling the last of my resistance crumble. Okay. Okay? I'll come with you, after tonight's shift. The relief in his voice was palpable. Thank you, Bella. You won't regret this. Fight. But as I hung up and stared at my reflection in the bathroom mirror, I couldn't shake the feeling that regret was inevitable. That accepting Dante's protection meant stepping into a world where love and danger were so intertwined, they became indistinguishable. And the most terrifying part? Some reckless piece of me was looking forward to it. The atmosphere at Delmonico that evening felt different, charged with anticipation I couldn't explain. Giuseppe greeted me at the staff entrance with an expression I'd never seen on him before, something between respect and concern. Mr. Moretti called, said he'd be dining with us tonight. His eyes searched mine. Elena, whatever you've gotten yourself into, I'm leaving after tonight. I wanted to tell you myself. Give proper notice. His shoulders sagged. Because of him? Because staying here puts everyone at risk. You, the other servers, the kitchen staff. I didn't know about Costa when I started. I didn't know this restaurant was part of that world. Giuseppe's expression confirmed what Dante had told me. We all have to survive somehow. Costa pays well, protects his investments. But if Moretti has claimed you... He gripped my shoulders. Be careful, Elena. These men, they're not like normal people. Their love is as dangerous as their hate. I nodded, unable to form words around the tightness in my throat. Giuseppe had been kind to me, patient with my mistakes, understanding about my occasional absences for morning sickness I'd blamed on food poisoning. He deserved better than me bringing gang warfare to his door. The dinner shift began normally enough. I served my usual section, smiled at familiar faces, recommended dishes with practiced ease. But I was hyper-aware of the clock ticking toward the moment when Dante would arrive, when this strange limbo between my old life and whatever came next would finally end. He arrived at 9, his presence immediately commanding attention. This time he came alone, settling at a small two-top near the window with a view of the street. The positioning was deliberate. He could watch both the interior and the exterior, monitor threats from multiple directions. I approached with menus, but he waved them away. Just coffee, and whatever you'd recommend eating. It felt surreal, taking his order as if he were any other customer, as if we weren't about to upend my entire life. The osso buco is excellent tonight. Then I'll have that. His eyes held mine. And you should eat something too. You barely touched lunch. I hadn't told him about skipping lunch, which meant Marco had reported more than just my safe arrival home. The surveillance was comprehensive, invasive, and somehow almost comforting in its thoroughness. Throughout the evening, I felt other eyes on me. A man at the bar whose suit didn't quite fit right, his attention too sharp to be casual. A couple near the back who seemed more interested in watching Dante than each other. Costa's people, I realized with creeping dread. Giuseppe had been right. They knew something was happening. Dante noticed them too. I could tell by the way his posture changed, subtle shifts in his positioning that spoke of training and instinct. When I brought his coffee, he caught my wrist gently. After you finish your closing duties, go straight to the staff room. Marco will meet you there. What about you? I'll handle our observers. The calm certainty in his voice should have frightened me. Instead, it resonated with that same twisted security I'd felt before. Dante protected what was his. The final hour of my shift crawled by. I went through the motions of closing side work, folding napkins, restocking stations, settling checks, while my mind raced ahead to what came next, to the apartment in Tribeca, to the life I was walking into with open eyes. Giuseppe found me in the staff room, changing out of my work shoes. Marco Santini is waiting by the back entrance. He paused. He's one of Moretti's top men. Been with him since Chicago. I know. Elena. Giuseppe's voice was gentle. Are you doing this because you want to, or because you're afraid not to? The question deserved honesty. Both, maybe. But it's my choice, Giuseppe. That matters. He nodded slowly, then pressed an envelope into my hands. Your pay through tomorrow, plus 2 weeks severance. You've been a good worker. If you ever need a reference for anything legitimate, call me. The kindness threatened to undo me. Thank you. For everything. Go, before those watchers get curious. Marco was indeed waiting, a solid presence in the narrow service corridor. He nodded once and led me through a series of turns that avoided the main dining room, emerging in an alley where a black SUV idled with tinted windows. Mr. Moretti will meet us at the apartment. Marco held the door open. There was a situation he needed to address. I didn't ask what kind of situation. Didn't want to know if the observers from the restaurant had followed us, what Dante had done to handle them. The drive to Tribeca passed in a blur of lights and late-night traffic. Manhattan transformed at night, shedding its business facade for something more raw and honest. Marco maintained professional silence, but occasionally his eyes would flick to the rearview mirror, monitoring threats. The building was exactly as Dante had described. Modern, secure, with a doorman who nodded respectfully as we entered. Evening, Mr. Santini. Miss Ruiz, Mr. Moretti asked me to let you know he'll be delayed approximately 30 minutes. So even the doorman knew my name, my expected arrival. Dante's reach was comprehensive. The apartment was on the 15th floor, and stepping inside took my breath away. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the Hudson River, the water reflecting city lights like scattered jewels. The space was modern, but warm, decorated in shades of cream and slate with accents of deep blue. Expensive, but not ostentatious. Nothing like the world I'd expected. Marco did a quick sweep of the rooms, checking locks and windows with professional efficiency. Kitchen's fully stocked. Your bedroom is the second door on the left. Mr. Moretti had some things delivered, but if you need anything else, there's a list on the counter. He paused at the door. I'll be outside in the hallway until he arrives. Alone in the space that was apparently now mine, I explored with tentative steps. The bedroom he'd indicated was larger than my entire previous apartment, with its own bathroom done in white marble and chrome. The closet held clothes in my size, casual wear, professional outfits, even maternity clothes for later. He'd thought of everything. On the dresser, I found a small box wrapped in simple paper. Inside was a phone, new, expensive, and a note in Dante's precise handwriting. Your old phone isn't secure. Use this one. My number is already programmed in. I was standing by the windows, watching the city breathe beneath me, when I heard the front door open. Dante's voice, low and controlled, speaking in Italian to Marco, then footsteps crossing the hardwood floor. Elena. I turned. He'd changed from his dinner suit into something more casual. Dark jeans, and a black Henley that showed the tattoos on his forearms. Without the armor of expensive tailoring, he looked younger, more like the man I'd fallen for in Chicago. You came. There was relief in his voice, as if he'd genuinely feared I might flee. I said I would. People say a lot of things. He moved closer, stopping a respectful distance away. Are you hungry? Tired? Do you need anything? I need the truth. You promised me that. I did. He gestured toward the couch. This might take a while. We sat, the space between us charged with unspoken words. Dante leaned forward, elbows on his knees, and began. My family has been in the business for 4 generations. My great-grandfather came from Sicily, built an empire in Chicago through bootlegging and protection rackets. My grandfather legitimized some of it, real estate, construction, but kept the core operations. My father expanded into New York, which is why I have interests here. He glanced at me. I inherited the Chicago territory when I was 25, after my father died. How did he die? Violently, in front of me. The admission was flat. That's the world you're asking about, Elena. One where sons watch their fathers die, where loyalty is purchased with blood, where every decision carries the weight of lives hanging in balance. And Marcos? The man who threatened me? He was my cousin. Family, which made his betrayal worse. He thought you were a vulnerability, that loving you made me weak. He was wrong, but by the time I proved it. Dante's jaw tightened. He didn't suffer. That's the only mercy I showed him. The casual discussion of murder should have horrified me. Instead, I felt a twisted sort of gratitude. The watchers at the restaurant tonight. What happened to them? They're reporting back to Costa that you quit, moved away. Brooklyn, probably. Someplace I have no influence. He met my eyes. They're alive, Elena. I don't kill unnecessarily, but they'll remember not to look too closely at my business again. And Costa? What happens when he figures out I'm here? He won't. This building, this apartment, it's owned by a shell corporation 3 layers deep. Your name isn't on any paperwork. As far as the world knows, you disappeared. Dante shifted closer. I've spent 3 years preparing for the possibility of you coming back into my life, making sure that when it happened I could protect you properly. The premeditation of it stole my breath. You've been planning this? Hoping. Planning implies certainty, and where you're concerned, Bella, I've never been certain of anything. His hand lifted, hesitating before touching my cheek. Except that I love you. That's the only thing I've never doubted. I leaned into his touch despite myself, my body remembering what my mind tried to forget. This is crazy, Dante. All of it. Yes. His thumb traced my cheekbone. But it's our crazy now. Yours and mine and the baby's. I'm scared. Good. Fear keeps you alert, keeps you safe. He pulled me closer, until I was tucked against his chest, his heartbeat steady beneath my ear. But you don't have to be scared alone anymore. I've got you, Elena. I've got both of you. We sat like that for a long time, the city glittering beyond the windows, the weight of decisions made settling over us. Finally, I pulled back enough to look at him. What happens now? Now? A ghost of a smile crossed his face. Now you rest. You eat properly, see a doctor. Let me take care of you the way I should have done 3 years ago. His hand moved to my stomach, hovering. May I? I nodded, and he pressed his palm gently against the small swell. His expression transformed, wonder and fierce protectiveness warring for dominance. Our baby, he whispered. I still can't quite believe it. Neither can I. He looked up, eyes bright. I meant what I said, Elena. I know this isn't ideal. I know you didn't choose this life. But I swear to you, I will do everything in my power to make you happy, to make our family safe. Family. The word resonated with possibility and threat in equal measure. But as Dante held me, as the exhaustion of months of struggling alone finally caught up with me, I let myself believe that maybe, just maybe, this could work. Even if the foundation was built on darkness, even if love and danger were so intertwined I could no longer tell them apart. I woke to sunlight streaming through unfamiliar windows and the smell of coffee. For a disoriented moment, I couldn't place where I was. Then memory crashed in. Tribeca, Dante's apartment, my new life. I'd fallen asleep on the couch fully clothed, but someone had covered me with a soft blanket. The someone in question was moving around the kitchen, his back to me, wearing the same casual clothes from last night. You stayed? My voice was rough with sleep. Dante turned, coffee pot in hand. I wasn't going to leave you alone your first night. Marco's outside if you need anything, but I thought... He paused. I wanted to be here when you woke up. It was such a domestic scene, so at odds with everything I knew about him. You made coffee? I'm dangerous, not incompetent. His smile was brief, though I wasn't sure if you could have caffeine. With the baby. Limited amounts. 1 cup is fine. I stood, wrapping the blanket around myself like armor. In daylight, the apartment was even more impressive. Art on the walls that was probably worth thousands. Furniture that whispered of expensive taste. He poured carefully, adding cream the way I liked it without asking. Another detail he remembered. There's breakfast too. I had Marco pick up pastries from that bakery you liked in Chicago. The thoughtfulness of it undid something in me. Dante, you can't just... We're not picking up where we left off. This is about the baby, about safety. I know. He handed me the coffee, his fingers brushing mine. But that doesn't mean I can't take care of you. Doesn't mean I've stopped wanting to make you smile. Before I could respond, his phone buzzed. His expression shuddered as he read the message. I need to handle something. Marco will stay with you, and there's a doctor appointment at 2. What kind of appointment? Prenatal. Dr. Chen is one of the best OBGYNs in Manhattan. She's also discreet. She handles medical care for several families in our business. He was already moving toward the door. "I'll be back before you need to leave." "Dante, wait." I caught his arm. "The Watchers last night. Is there going to be retaliation?" His expression went cold. "Let me worry about that. You just focus on staying healthy, staying safe." After he left, the apartment felt larger, emptier. I showered in the marble bathroom, wrapped myself in a robe that probably cost more than a month's rent at my old place, and tried to process the surreal turn my life had taken. My new phone buzzed. A message from Dante. "There's a security panel by the front door. Marco showed you the code. Don't open for anyone except him or me." Another message followed immediately. "And eat something. You're feeding too now." Despite everything, I smiled. His protectiveness was smothering and comforting in equal measure. The morning passed slowly. I explored the apartment more thoroughly, finding a home office with a laptop already set up in my name, a second bedroom that could serve as a nursery, a balcony with a view that made my old apartment's alley seem even more depressing in retrospect. In the master bedroom, Dante's room, judging by the masculine decor, I found a photograph on the dresser. Us, in Chicago, at some event I barely remembered. I was laughing at something, looking up at him with obvious adoration. He was watching me with an expression I'd never seen in the moment. Pure, unguarded love. He'd kept this for 3 years. Through my absence, through not knowing where I was, or if I'd ever return. That was taken at the museum fundraiser. Dante's voice came from the doorway. I hadn't heard him return. "You wore a green dress, said you felt out of place among all the society women. Then you proceeded to charm every person you met." I set the photo down carefully. "I didn't know you'd kept this." "I kept everything." He moved into the room, maintaining careful distance. "Letters you wrote me. Tickets from movies we saw. The receipt from that terrible diner where you insisted the pancakes were authentic. They were authentic. Authentically terrible." His laugh was warm. "You defended them so passionately. I didn't have the heart to argue." The moment felt suspended, intimate in a way that had nothing to do with physical proximity. Then his expression shifted, business reasserting itself. "The appointment is in an hour. I'll drive you." Dr. Chen's office was in a medical building that looked more like a luxury hotel, all marble and soft lighting. The waiting room was empty except for us, and a woman who looked away quickly when we entered. Marco had come too, positioning himself near the exit with the alertness of a trained guard. "Mr. Moretti." The receptionist's smile was professional but warm. "Dr. Chen is ready for you." The doctor herself was a woman in her 50s, elegant and no-nonsense. She greeted Dante with familiarity that spoke of history, then turned her attention to me. "Ms. Ruiz, I understand you're approximately 4 months along." The examination was thorough and surprisingly gentle. She asked questions about my health history, previous symptoms, made notes in a tablet. When she brought out the ultrasound machine, Dante moved closer, his eyes fixed on the screen. "There." Dr. Chen pointed to a shape that looked like a bean. "That's your baby. About 18 weeks, based on measurements. Would you like to know the sex?" I looked at Dante. His expression was transfixed, vulnerable in a way I'd never seen. "Yes," I whispered. "It's a girl." Dr. Chen smiled. "Healthy, developing right on schedule. Congratulations." "A daughter. We were having a daughter." I watched Dante's face as the information registered, saw something fierce and protective flash through his eyes. His hand found mine, gripping tight. "A girl," he repeated, voice rough. "We're having a little girl." Dr. Chen printed out images, gave me prescriptions for vitamins, scheduled the next appointment. As we prepared to leave, she touched Dante's arm. "Take care of them, Dante." Both of them. With my life, he promised. In the car, he was silent, staring at the ultrasound photo as if memorizing every detail. Finally, he spoke. I want to marry you. The words landed like stones. What? I want our daughter to have my name. Want you to have my name. Want... He stopped, jaw tight. I want to do this right, Elena. Give you and the baby the protection of being officially mine. That's not romantic. No. He met my eyes. But it's honest. In my world, marriage means something. It means anyone who touches you answers to me with their life. It means our daughter inherits everything I've built, protected by every alliance I've made. And what about love? What about choosing this because we want to, not because it's strategically advantageous? I've loved you for 3 years. I've wanted to marry you since 6 months into our relationship in Chicago. The strategy is just added benefit. He reached for my hand. I'm not asking for your answer now, just asking you to think about it. Back at the apartment, reality continued its surreal spiral. Dante had to leave again. More business he wouldn't detail. Marco stationed himself outside. I was alone with my thoughts and the ultrasound image of my daughter. Our daughter. I was tracing the outline of her tiny form when my new phone rang. Unknown number, but local. Hello? Elena Ruiz? A woman's voice, cultured and cold. Or should I say Elena Morrison? My blood turned to ice. Who is this? Someone with information you need. About Dante Moretti and what he's really done. About why your father disappeared 3 years ago. The room tilted. My father? What are you talking about? Meet me. Tomorrow, noon, at the fountain in Washington Square Park. Come alone, or you'll never know the truth about the man whose child you're carrying. The line went dead. I sat frozen, the phone gripping in trembling hands. My father had disappeared 3 years ago, walked out one day and never came back. My mother had filed a missing persons report. The police had found nothing. 3 years ago, right around the time I'd met Dante. The coincidence was too precise to be coincidence. But that meant no. It couldn't mean what my racing mind was suggesting. Dante wouldn't have. He couldn't have. But memory supplied images I'd tried to forget. The way Dante had asked so many questions about my family that first month we dated. His interest in where I came from, who my parents were. I'd thought it was normal getting to know you conversation. What if it hadn't been? I pulled up the number Dante had programmed into the phone, my thumb hovering over the call button. I should tell him about the message. Should let him protect me from whatever this was. But if he was connected to my father's disappearance, if he knew what happened and never told me. I set the phone down, staring at the ultrasound photo. My daughter, growing inside me. Dante's daughter. The man I'd just agreed to let protect us might be the same man who'd destroyed my family. And tomorrow, I'd find out the truth. Even if it killed me. The night passed in fragments. I dozed fitfully on the couch, unwilling to sleep in the bed Dante had prepared for me, unable to shake the cold dread that had settled in my stomach. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw my father's face, heard my mother's broken voice when she'd called to say he was missing. Dante returned around midnight, his expression tight with exhaustion. He found me curled on the couch, still dressed, the ultrasound photo clutched in my hand. Elena? What's wrong? He crossed the room quickly, concern replacing fatigue. Is it the baby? I'm fine. Just couldn't sleep. His eyes searched mine, too perceptive. You're lying. What happened? I should have told him then. Should have asked about my father, about the phone call, about whether the man I'd loved was also the man who'd destroyed my family. But the words stuck in my throat, tangled with fear and doubt. Just processing everything. The appointment, the baby being a girl, all of it. He didn't believe me. I could see it in the way his jaw tightened. But he let it pass. Come to bed. Proper bed. You need to rest. I'm fine here. Elena. I said I'm fine. The sharpness in my voice stopped him. We stared at each other, the space between us charged with unspoken accusations. Finally, Dante nodded slowly. I'll be in my room if you need anything. After he left, I hated myself for the deception. But tomorrow's meeting loomed like a specter, and until I knew the truth, I couldn't let myself be vulnerable around him. Morning came too slowly and too fast. Dante was already gone when I woke. A note on the counter saying he had meetings all morning. Marco was outside, his presence both security and prison. At 11, I told Marco I needed to go to a drugstore. Feminine supplies, I said vaguely, knowing most men wouldn't push for details. He offered to have someone deliver whatever I needed. I'd prefer to pick them out myself, choose the right products. His discomfort was visible. I'll need to come with you. Fine, but you wait outside the store. The negotiation took precious minutes, but finally we reached a compromise. He'd drive me to a pharmacy in the village, wait nearby while I went in. What he didn't know was that Washington Square Park was 2 blocks from the pharmacy I'd chosen. The late spring morning was beautiful, tourists and locals filling the park with life and color. I found the fountain easily, its spray catching sunlight in rainbow fractals. And standing beside it, wearing designer sunglasses and the expression of cold amusement, was a woman I'd never seen before. She was older than me, maybe 40, with the kind of sleek sophistication that spoke of serious money. Elena Morrison, you look like your father. The words were a knife between my ribs. Who are you? Isabella Costa, Vittorio's wife. She let that sink in. The wife of the man your boyfriend has been at war with for the last 5 years. My throat closed. Why would you tell me about my father? Because knowledge is power, dear. And right now, you have none. She gestured to a bench. Sit. Let me explain exactly who Dante Moretti is, and what he did to get you. I sat, less because I wanted to, and more because my legs wouldn't hold me. Isabella settled beside me, her perfume expensive and cloying. 3 years ago, your father, Thomas Morrison, was an accountant for one of Vittorio's businesses. A legitimate business, or so the books appeared. Thomas discovered some inconsistencies, money being moved through accounts in ways that suggested money laundering. She paused. He made the mistake of confronting his supervisor, who reported it to Vittorio. My father would never work for the mob. He didn't know. That's the beauty of how we operate. Most employees have no idea their paychecks come from criminal enterprise. Isabella's smile was sharp. But once Thomas knew, he became a liability. Vittorio ordered him eliminated. Except what? Except Dante Moretti found out first. Somehow, we never discovered how, he learned about Thomas, about the evidence he'd gathered, about Vittorio's plans, and he made a move we didn't expect. Her eyes locked on mine. He offered Thomas protection in exchange for the evidence, offered to keep him safe, set him up with a new identity, everything. Hope flared painfully in my chest. So my father's alive? Oh yes, very much alive. Living in Arizona under a different name, working as a consultant for one of Dante's legitimate businesses. He's been safe and comfortable for 3 years. Isabella leaned closer. But Dante made one condition for that protection. That Thomas never contact his family again. That his wife and daughter believe him dead or disappeared. Complete severing of ties. The betrayal cut deeper than I'd imagined possible. Why? Why would he do that? Because he wanted you. Isabella's voice was almost gentle. He'd seen photos of Thomas's daughter while investigating, became obsessed, orchestrated that first meeting at the gallery. It wasn't coincidence, Elena. He knew you'd be there because Thomas had mentioned your schedule in an email to your mother. She pulled out a folder, handed it to me. It's all in here. Communications between Dante and your father. Photos of you taken months before you officially met. Evidence of how thoroughly he stalked you before ever saying hello. My hands shook as I opened the folder. And there it was. Emails with my father's name, though from an address I didn't recognize. Photos of me entering and leaving my Chicago apartment, time-stamped months before that gallery opening. Notes in Dante's handwriting analyzing my routines, my preferences, my vulnerabilities. I was going to be sick. He saved your father's life, Isabella continued, but only so he could claim you without the complication of family interference. When you left him, he didn't come after you immediately because he was dealing with fallout from using your father's evidence against Vittorio. But he never stopped watching, never stopped waiting for the right moment to bring you back. Why are you telling me this? Because I want you to understand who you're dealing with, what he's capable of. Isabella stood, smoothing her skirt. And because I'm offering you an alternative. My husband doesn't want war with Moretti. It's expensive and unpredictable. But if you were to come to us, bring evidence of Dante's operations, we could end this without more bloodshed. Your father could contact you again. Your mother could stop grieving. You could have your family back. In exchange for betraying Dante. In exchange for choosing reality over delusion. He's not your protector, Elena. He's your captor. He stole your father to possess you. And now he's using your pregnancy to keep you trapped. Isabella pulled out a card, pressed it into my numb fingers. Think about it. You have 48 hours before Vittorio loses patience with this diplomatic approach. She walked away, disappearing into the crowd of tourists and students. I sat frozen on the bench, the folder burning in my hands, the ultrasound photo of my daughter seeming to accuse me from my pocket. Dante had saved my father, had given him protection and a new life. But he'd also taken him away from us, manipulated circumstances to isolate me, orchestrated our entire relationship based on obsession rather than chance. Everything I'd believed about us, about how we'd met, about his feelings, all of it was built on lies and manipulation. My phone buzzed. Marco. Ms. Ruiz, you've been gone 20 minutes. Everything okay? I stood mechanically, tucked the folder under my arm, and walked toward the pharmacy. Bought random items I didn't need while my mind raced. Got back in the car and let Marco drive me home. Except it wasn't home. It was Dante's apartment. Dante's gilded cage. He was waiting when I arrived, pacing the living room with barely contained energy. Where were you? Marco said the pharmacy, but you were gone for... He stopped, seeing my expression. What happened? I pulled out the folder, threw it on the coffee table between us. Is it true? His eyes dropped to the documents, and I saw the moment he understood, saw calculation flash across his features, before settling into careful blankness. Who gave you this? Answer the question, Dante. Is it true? Did you orchestrate our entire relationship? Did you manipulate my father into disappearing so you could have me without complications? The silence stretched impossibly long. Finally he spoke, his voice carefully controlled. The timeline is accurate. The interpretation is not. What the hell does that mean? It means yes, I knew about your father. Yes, I offered him protection. Yes, I made sure he cut ties with your family as a condition. He moved closer, and I backed away. But I didn't do it to possess you, Elena. I did it because he was already dead. Vittorio's men were en route to kill him when I intervened. I saved his life. By making my mother think he abandoned us. By making me think... My voice broke. I spent 3 years believing my father left because he didn't love us anymore. I know, and I'm sorry for that. But the alternative was you watching his body being pulled from the river. His actual body, not just his reputation. Dante's eyes were fierce. I made the choice I thought would cause the least harm. And stalking me? The photos, the planning, the manipulation? I investigated you, yes, because I needed to know if you were safe, if Vittorio might use you against your father. The photos were security surveillance, making sure Costa's people weren't watching you. He took a breath. But then I saw you, really saw you, and it became about more than just security. I wanted to know you, wanted to meet you, He stopped. Wanted to possess me. No. His voice was sharp. Wanted to know if what I felt looking at your photo was real. If you were as intelligent and compassionate and beautiful in person as you seemed from a distance. And you were. You exceeded every expectation. So you orchestrated our meeting. Yes. I knew you'd be at that gallery. I made sure I was there too. But everything after, every conversation, every date, every moment we spent together, that was real, Elena. My feelings for you were and are completely genuine. I wanted to believe him. God, how I wanted to believe him. But the evidence was damning. You stole my father. I saved your father. There's a difference. Not to me. The words tore out of me. Not to my mother, who spent 3 years wondering what she did wrong, why he left. Not to me, who thought maybe if I'd been a better daughter, maybe if I couldn't continue. The old guilt rising up. Dante's expression cracked. No. Elena, no. Your father loves you completely. He left because I convinced him it was the only way to keep you safe. That if he stayed, if Vittorio figured out Thomas had family, you'd be used as leverage. Then let me talk to him. Prove he's alive. Prove he's okay. I can't. Can't or won't. Both. Dante ran a hand through his hair, frustration evident. The moment your father makes contact, Vittorio will know where he is. We'll use that to track him down and finish what he started. The only thing keeping Thomas alive is Vittorio's belief that he's already dead. Then what am I supposed to do? Just accept that my father is alive but I can never speak to him? That everything between us was built on manipulation and lies? Not everything. He closed the distance between us, catching my hands before I could retreat. My love for you, that's real. My commitment to protecting you and our daughter, that's real. Everything I feel, everything I want for us, that's all real, Elena. How can I believe anything you say? Tears were streaming down my face now. How can I trust you when you've been lying since the beginning? Because I'm telling you the truth now. All of it, no matter how ugly. His grip tightened. And because you know, deep down, that what we had in Chicago was genuine, that what we have now is genuine. I've made mistakes, I've manipulated circumstances, but my feelings for you have never been anything but honest. I pulled away, wrapping my arms around myself. Isabella Costa offered me a deal. I go to them, give them information on your operations, and they reunite me with my father. Let my mother know he's alive. Dante's expression went deadly cold. Isabella Costa is a snake. Whatever she promised, she won't deliver. The moment you're no longer useful, you'll disappear. And they won't be kind about it. At least they're honest about being criminals. The words hit him like a physical blow. Is that what you think? That I'm worse than them because I tried to protect you while hiding difficult truths? I think you're the same as them. Different family, same methods. Then you don't know me at all. His voice was ice. Everything I've done has been to keep you safe. To keep your father safe. To build a life where our daughter can grow up protected and loved. If you can't see the difference between that and what Costa would do, don't you dare make this about me not understanding. I cut him off. You stole 3 years from my mother. From me. You built our entire relationship on deception. And now you're trying to make it sound noble. I'm not trying to make it sound noble. I'm trying to make you understand that the choice wasn't between good and evil. It was between bad and worse. And I chose the option that kept the most people alive. He moved to the window, staring out at the city. But if you want to go to Costa, if you want to believe her promises over my truth, I won't stop you. The words were a challenge and a surrender simultaneously. You won't? No. He turned back, and his eyes held a devastation I'd never seen. I love you too much to keep you prisoner. If you genuinely believe you and our daughter would be safer with Vittorio Costa than with me, then go. I'll have Marco take you wherever you want. It was exactly what I'd claimed I wanted. Freedom, choice, the ability to walk away. So why did the offer feel like a punishment? I need time to think. You don't have time. Costa gave you 48 hours. By tomorrow night, they'll assume you're not taking the deal and come for you anyway. So you need to decide now, Elena. Do you trust me, despite everything? Or do you trust Isabella's promises? The apartment was silent, except for the distant sounds of traffic. My hand moved unconsciously to my stomach, to the daughter growing inside me. Dante's daughter. A daughter who would grow up either in his world of violence dressed as protection, or in Costa's world of violence dressed as salvation. Neither choice was good. Both were terrible. But one felt like betrayal, and the other felt like capitulation. I can't decide this right now. Then let me decide for you. Dante pulled out his phone, made a call. Marco, prepare the safe house in Connecticut. We're moving tonight. He ended the call, his eyes never leaving mine. I'm not giving you to Costa. I'm not letting them use you against me or harm our daughter. So we're going somewhere they can't reach. Somewhere you'll be safe while you figure out what you believe. That's not giving me a choice. That's making me your prisoner. No, Bella. That's me being your protector, whether you want me to be or not. He moved to the door, paused. Pack a bag. We leave in 2 hours. And Elena? He looked back, his expression raw. I know you don't believe me right now, but everything I've done, every lie I've told, every manipulation, it was all because I love you. And someday, you'll understand that. After he left, I stood in the empty apartment, surrounded by luxury and lies, carrying a daughter who deserved better than the disaster I'd made of my life. And I understood, with a clarity that was almost painful, that there was no escape. Not from Dante, not from Costa, not from the web of violence and power that had ensnared me the moment I'd smiled at a dangerous man in a Chicago gallery. I was trapped, and the only question left was whether I'd accept my cage with grace or fight against bars that would never, ever break.